everybody. Hi, Amalu, Brown Girl, Annabelle, Anastasia, Boo Boo Bear. Hi. I really enjoy these lives. I have such an awesome chat. I really do. Everybody's so sweet. I should come on here more often and we can just talk. Hi, Dina Lynn. How is everybody tonight? Are you guys all ready for the weekend? That week went fast, didn't it? Oh no, it's not the weekend. The weekend went fast. That's what I meant to say. I'm all confused because someone just told me to have a great weekend. Now that's what happens when you're retired. Lose track of days, time, whatever. Oh, Emily, be careful. Drive safely. Hi, Lemon Lime Bittersweet. I am feeling better. I have gotten over that cold finally. Finally. That was a rough one. I just ate some ice cream, so that should take care of any lingering effects, I think. Excuse me. So, how's everybody doing? What'd you do this weekend? Just let a few people get in here. How many people in my chat called Don's parole officer today and reported him? I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous, which is my opinion. Oh, hi, Tennessee Truth. Hey, good to see you in here. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's going good with everyone. Somebody's sending me messages. I got that virus last week. I don't know. Somebody said his probation was up. I don't really know. I suppose I could check on that again. I think he is still on probation because he hasn't done his 80 hours of community service yet, and he hasn't paid his fine. So I believe those are conditions of his probation. But don't quote me on that. Yes. I definitely do. However, people calling, his parole officer's not going to do anything. Josh called. Josh reported it. It happened to Josh. So, me calling in doesn't do anything. It didn't happen to me. Yeah. Well, and he's got that court coming up. Isn't that oh no, that was until December, right? I know it got postponed for that ticket. I don't know. My opinion is his parole officer could violate him for a multitude of things and hasn't yet. So, I mean, for crying out loud, when he was in Arkansas, he did a drug deal on the live with his neighbor. So if that didn't violate him, all I did was make him come back. Hi, Riggs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what on earth it takes. It's like with JLR. He's on parole. He filmed himself committing a felony and put it online. And then he had a restraining order taken out against him during the Murdaugh trial. he didn't get violated. I'm not sure how that works exactly. I think they can violate you if they want, although I know you have to go to court and have a probation violation hearing first. I don't know what the criteria is for violating. That's a very good question. Maybe I could have a parole officer come on and talk about that. Did Josh trigger Don? I believe it was him playing the recording of the interview with Don in jail by the Utah detective. And I think Don was still upset about that. Yeah, I have no idea why Josh stayed on the phone with him. Why didn't he just hang up? I would have. I wouldn't have stayed on the phone and listened to that and continue to talk to him and record it. Just hang up. Hi, Rix. Love you. I missed the first half of what you're doing tonight. Yes, it is. It's with Theresa. Was that last week? No, I think it was the week before. We only got through half of it. So, yeah, I'm picking up where I left off. And welcome, Running Fox. It was good to see you. Being drunk is no excuse. I think he's always drunk. I don't know, does crack make you hyper? I don't know too much about drugs. I don't know. I smoked pot like 45 years ago when I was in college, but that's the extent of my experience with illegal drugs. So I can't tell you. Yes, he does. Yep, they're both. I think Candace has kind of given up on the drugs, from what I've heard, and is just drinking. So she's clearly an alcoholic. Don said that when he does coke, he likes to drink. So whiskey. So I think those two go hand in hand with him. So yeah, I think they're both intoxicated, 20 hours a day, if not more. Okay, so let's pick up where we left off. This is Theresa from CriminaliTy, formerly of the channel that I am not allowed to name. And this is the second half of her. Oh, wait. Oh, hi, Rebecca Taylor. Oh, he is dangerous. He is evil. It was reported. Josh reported it. That's all that needed to be done. I mean, if, somebody slapped me in the middle of Walmart, I call and report it. The other 50 people that saw it or heard it, they don't report it. It's none of their business. So, hi, Miss Chewy. How are you? Hi, Anita Sailor. Sailor? Is that how you pronounce your name? Sailor? Gaily Gale. Hi, hon. Glad to see you always. And your spectacular quilts. Okay. So we went through the first half of this interview with Allie. And if you missed that, that's still online. I said it's the one Theresa joins us. Okay, so let's oh wait a minute. Did anything ever happen to BK or Chase? I don't know. Nothing ever happens to anybody in this case. Did you ever notice that? Has anybody ever been arrested other than Fred Hill? I don't know. It's pretty lawless there, isn't it? Doesn't it kind of remind you of what's that town out west with all the outlaws? Anyway, yeah, pretty much everybody just does what they want. I don't know if, they do a lot of child trafficking busts and a lot of drug busts there. So is that where they're concentrating all their forces? And maybe they don't care about this piddly stuff? I mean, it seems like literally everyone there is on drugs that we've come into contact with, so maybe it's just too overwhelming. I think they try to cut off the sources of the drugs, which would be Fred Hill, and not so much on the users, is just my guess. The Alamo. Shelley Ray's A Night at the Improv. Now that's a handful of a name. Welcome. Okay, so Theresa asks, is there any way for anyone to come on that property that easily to snatch Summer in 2 minutes? She said, Allie said, no, stop. Those dogs would have barked. Hey, Cotton Candy Boobs. Glad you could join us. Do you want to come up? I posted the link. Actually, anyone can come up. I don't mind having a sidekick. Let's see. Like I said earlier, those dogs, the minute they heard something, they'd be all over that property. If they didn't know you, they'd eat you alive. I don't know. They didn't seem to eat Molly Golightly alive. And I'm going to stop there. My grandmother, when she rode up with us one day, she heard my mom stayed in the car while I went up to feed the dogs. Those dogs came right down the hill and they were growling at the truck. Yeah, it seemed like it, Miss Chewy. It did. It seemed like it wasn't like they weren't socialized. And I've never heard anyone say that they were afraid of the dogs up there. Okay. Do you know, did Don take a polygraph and pass? Because that was the other speculation. Did you hear anything that he claims he did? I don't know. He claims he did. I don't know. Okay. Did you ever, I hate to ask, did you ever hear about the second polygraph of Candace's? Just what she stated on her interview on TV that they passed. She didn't state that. Donnie stated it. She had to keep quiet. Donnie's the one that does most of the interviews. Okay, remember this is earlier, before Lawson came out and said that they both passed polygraphs. So, and Candy apparently passed her polygraph too. Okay, I have a question. Apparently, Don's niece said she heard Candace and Don had a baby after Summer, and they gave the child up for adoption. Do you know if that's true? I believe Summer was the last baby, so there was no child after Summer, not that I'm aware of. We know that she did not have a child after Summer because she had her tubes tied when she had Summer. Did you ever talk with Candace about her older children that she had? There's a lot of speculation that the sister Rose ended up missing. Actually took custody of Candace's 2 oldest children. Her oldest 2 children were put into foster care because Candace had met this guy and he got her hooked on meth and everything. And she lost her kids. And instead of fighting for her kids, she let them get adopted out. Do you know that was her sister Rose took them? No, that was one thing that had been, this was completely foster care. Oh, hi, Sonia. Welcome. Glad you could make it. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of rumors about Rose had custody of Candace's two older children. Rose was 15 when they went into foster care. So she never had. Oh, sorry. I don't know how to do that. Hi, Wendy Anderson. So, yeah, Rose never had custody of the kids. Actually, what happened was Candace dropped the two kids off with Rose and her dad and then went out partying and didn't come back. So, you know, Rose was in school and her dad, he wasn't, you know, in any position to take care of two little babies. I mean, they were 6 months and a year. So, yeah, they called CPS. And we know what happened after that. Candace pulled a gun when they came to get him. I don't know. I can't say if he actually got her hooked on meth. We just know that from Candace, right? So I'm not sure. Anyway. Hi, Selena. Welcome. Okay. So let's see, the dogs. You said there was like 20 dogs around the property. This is Theresa speaking. Hi, Granny's house. I'm assuming dogs of all sizes and ages. How would they react if somebody like you walked up on the property, like somebody knew that the family knew that the dogs knew how they would react, that the 12 that I know would come running down the hill, they would bark at me, but when they realized, oh, it's her, I'd be all right. But the 8 that they just had, they probably took my head off. I don't know. I think that's all kind of academic because, in my opinion, nobody went up there on that hill. I mean, there was, you know, Candace, and for all they knew, Don, because his truck was there, and then 4 kids and all those dogs. I don't think anybody could sneak up there. And how would they know where Summer was? How would they know she'd be accessible? Oh, yeah, Miss Chewy, I heard from her today. Yeah, I heard from her today. She was fine. She was laughing at me. Everybody laughs at me. Okay. So on YouTube currently with some of Don's relatives that have come forward with some stories about Don's history. Did you ever suspect or believe that there was any type of inappropriate actions or inappropriate things happening with any of the children on Don's side? Well, Donnie did come out and say that he has been to prison. He never told me what for. But another reason why, I fell out of that whole situation was because Candace's boys were acting funny. Like it came across one day in the store that one of her kids said another one of them touched him. And I'm like, did you ask him? I said, did you sit down and have a talk with him? And she said, no, we will when we get home. So I want to put it past that. That's unfortunate, okay? There has been multiple CPS reports. My mother made a couple of CPS. Would show up. Candace would not let him in the house. She'd hurry up and clean the house. You know, she'd stay off marijuana for a couple days. And she peed clean once or twice, I believe. And CPS would just be on their way. Hi, Betty Smith. Yes, so I know that CPS was there and made more than one visit, so it wasn't like she didn't let him in the house. Um, I know at least one person that called CPS, and that was the report that was still open when Summer went missing. She was dodging them. She made an appointment for them to come and look at the house. Uh-oh. I just lost my... I just lost where I was. Just a second. Hey, at least Verizon didn't go out of service this time, huh? Which is what usually happens. I mean, that's what happened last time. Where are we? I'm sorry. I guess I'm not that multi-talented. Hi, flies on the cold slaw. Cold slaw. Oh, you have a good night too, hon. All right. Okay. She made an appointment. Hey, squirrely girl. My squirrel-loving twin. Yeah, she's fine. She has been a little quiet lately, but I did talk to her today, so she's okay. Okay, she made an appointment for them to come and look at the house. She dodged them. I have a lot of opinions about CPS, and I know every state calls it something. It's hard for me to have an opinion on it. I'm going to keep that to myself at the time here. Well, you know, Sherry had those two charges of abuse of a child under 8. And then Allie lost her kids. Sherry had custody of her other daughter's kids. Yeah, I'm not sure that they're in a position to criticize someone else's parenting. Do you know if Candace was drinking that day at the swimming hole? I do not. I would like to know. Do you know if something happened with Candace? I'm so sorry, my throat is still a mess. If something happened with Candace and Summer, do you believe that Don would cover for Candace? Like, would that be something that you, in your opinion, he would do? Oh, hi, Eve. I was kind of wondering where you were, but you never know who else is live, right? I mean, I kind of have my set times, but who knows? If somebody doesn't like me, I guess they'll just schedule their live over top of mine. I don't know. Okay. So that's kind of hard to say because to me, I would think he'd beat the shit out of Candace. Okay, I don't know them. You know, a lot of people said that at the beginning too, that Don, they didn't think Don knew because if he knew Candace did something to Summer that he would, yeah, beat her. Beat it out of her. He'd be very upset. Now, would it be normal for Summer? Or did she ever go into the woods? I love you too, Eve. Because I know that Candace had said there's bears in there, snakes, and she doesn't go in there. She wouldn't. Nope, that little girl would never leave that front yard. Would she walk down the driveway on her own? Because one of the other speculations is that the search dogs have. No, she would not, okay, because they have wild animals there. Like last summer, we had an incident with a copperhead. The kids were outside cooking on the grill. Why did I just do that again? And one of the boys was sitting on a riding mower. Hey, Lake Superior girl, welcome. And the next thing you know, he's freaking out because there was a copperhead that crawled on his leg. Yeah, that would freak me out too. He stood still. God darn it. A copperhead. We took the garden hose and we tried flushing it out from the lawnmower. Couldn't he just run over it with the lawnmower? I think that's what I would have done. Sorry if you're a super animal lover that likes snakes. I mean, a copperhead is something else, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'd run over that sucker. There'd be several pieces of copperhead around the yard. Especially, the dogs. They don't want it attacking the dogs either, for crying out loud. And the cats. Cats like to play with snakes. Okay, it was a big copperhead. That's why these kids always stayed in, like the boys, they would wander off to go through the woods and everything when they're older, but Summer, no, she stayed in that front yard around her little swing. It seemed to be like an area that was her favorite thing. Okay, hi Lisa Klettner. Welcome. Where's Summer? Hello. Maybe Candace took Summer to someone else a few miles away to hide and get rid of what she'd done to Summer. Well, but we don't know that she did anything. I mean, there's no... Hi, Jen Cooper. Glad to see you. There's no evidence that they did anything to Summer if you're talking about sexual abuse. I don't know. Did you see Brandy Neal ask people to not mention Michael with any type of abuse or sexual abuse? She didn't want that put on him. And I don't like that put on Summer either. I can see where Brandy would say that. I just think that's all speculation, especially if it involves the boys. I just think that's kind of out of line. That's just me. You come here, you get my opinion. Unfortunately, children do just poof be gone. Look at Dear Kuntz. Now that one just haunts me. Where is he? His parents took him camping and he disappeared. So, what do you think happened to him? Because, his parents were the only ones there. And then he just disappears into thin air. Hi, beautiful sunflower. Hope you're feeling well. Yeah, Don did. And I don't think that's right. I think that's a terrible thing to say. Okay. Summer stayed around her little swing. That seemed to be an area that was her favorite thing. I like the video when she's on it, that if you look closely, you'll see this little area she used to take the water hose and make a little mud pit. She's such a tomboy. I love it. I think she was. She was an outdoor girl. There's no doubt about that. No, Dina Lynn, I do not believe that Summer went into the basement either. I know, Jen, that just really haunts me. Oh, beautiful sunflower, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I would never stick up for them as far as being parents or even decent people. I think Don's definitely I don't even know if there's a word to describe how bad he is there? I don't think degenerate even totally covers it. And Candace, I don't know, she, they have no morals. They absolutely have no moral compass whatsoever. I think the grandfather was there. What grandfather is that, Lisa Kleckner? The grandfather was there. If Summer went to the basement and Candace went down there, why did Candace come up the stairs? Why not go out the basement door and go around the outside? Yeah, I don't think she went to the basement. I don't think the boys ever saw her. I think they were busy playing video games. I think if Candace said, where's Summer? She went to the basement to play. Where'd she go? Then the boys would think, oh, she went in the basement. Parents. Oh, okay. Lemon, bittersweet. I see now. Yes, grandfather and a male friend. Yeah. Yep. Okay, Lisa Kleckner. I'm sorry. I wasn't following. Yes. That poor little boy is just so adorable. It breaks my heart to read all these children that are beaten to death and starved. And just reading today one that had every bone, 8 months old, every bone in their body had been broken, including a skull fracture. 8 months old. And yet had actually been to the doctor or the hospital once or twice, but yet didn't anybody notice that? I don't know, it kills me. Yeah, I believe that's definitely made up. Absolutely, they don't just disappear. And too often kids are just the victims of their mother's bad choices. Not just the mother, but usually it's the mother who has a new husband or a new boyfriend or, people with records. Why would you leave your child at that? Hire a freaking babysitter. One with references. You don't just hand your kid off to just anybody, for crying out loud. Right. And that's why I think that the boys did not go swimming that day. They were playing hide and seek. That's that Minecraft game. And I'm sure that, yeah, you can't tear kids away from that. People say, oh, didn't they want to go swimming? No. Kids would sit inside for 12 hours on a video game if you let them. Oh, yeah, everybody sub up to Miss Chewy's new channel. She posted the link there. She is concentrating on positive stories, I believe. Is that right, Miss Chewy? Okay, I think... Hi, Cat in the chat. I think Donna's a weird duck. Oh, no, I agree with you. He is guilty of many things. Many things. But I don't think he has anything to do with Summer missing either. That's my opinion also. And I know it is several people's. Who did I miss? Tracy Ludwig. Hello. Molly Colley. Gene Ellen. Welcome. My ex was a bad alcoholic. He claimed he liked Coke only because he was able to drink continuously. Too much is never enough. Yeah, that's Don. He said when he does Coke, he likes to drink whiskey. Jack Daniels, I think. Oh, yeah. Candace is definitely another story. It's hard to tell who's more dangerous. I don't think Don, like I said to Josh, I don't think Don would ever fight a man. I don't think we've ever heard of him hitting another man or getting in a fight with another man. Yeah, I think he'd be afraid of getting hit, actually. Oh. Oh, that's good. Yeah, everybody sub up to Miss Chewy. Well, I don't know. I don't like that feeling of losing control, but I have thought my dad swears by CBD oil for his knees, so I thought I might try that. Yes, he just drew fights. Exactly. He didn't fight. Yeah, Candace. I don't know. Hello, videos. Jose's tooth got broken? How did that happen? Because he didn't hit Jose. According to the police report, Don hit himself in the face. I didn't hear that he hit Jose. But maybe. I don't know how. Oh, I didn't see that. We all know how he spoke to Trevor at the tree lighting. I don't know how that. I didn't see that. Yeah, Don saw mouth over the phone and cowered face to face. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, he's all mouth. I don't know, Jen. Oh, he threw a beer bottle. Okay. All right, that makes sense. He didn't actually hit him, though, with his fists. Yeah, I can see him throwing things at people, but, I mean, he's not going to stab anybody or punch them. He's not going to hurt anybody that could hurt him back. Okay. I want to know what you thought about Summer and when Hunter thought about Summer when he was being dropped off, if she looked healthy, alive, or I'm just asleep, like what you and Hunter thought about her in the back seat. He thought she was alive, that she just fell asleep, everything was fine. Yep, I thought the same thing too. Yeah, if this hadn't happened that day, would you ever look back and thought that something was off, like when you saw her that day? Did you think something's kind of weird here? This is not normal? No, you never thought that. Now, obviously, she's missing, and you're looking at it in retrospect and think, wow, I should have done this or that kind of thing. Yep, I beat myself up over it. I should have reached and gave her a hug. I don't know, that you'll never get that out of that mindset. Okay. Hi, Judith Faye. Yeah. Oh, yes. He did. Yep. He has. A lot of people have talked bad about Trevor. I think he does an amazing job with the things he's done. Trevor, not Don. I think Candace could have forgotten a sleeping Summer in the car. But Summer could have gotten out. I mean, if it got hot, I mean, she's 5, so there's no reason why she couldn't get out of the truck, I'm sorry. Yeah, I believe that. Oh, yes, beautiful sunflower. I do remember that. There's no excuse for that. None whatsoever. Okay, does your son still talk to Candace, or you won't let them talk? No, a lot of people have asked why Hunter would be scared to go to work, and I don't want to speak for you, but I mean, he's a 15-year-old kid who's now in the middle of a very traumatic situation. I think that would be scary. Is there another thing that you, or is there something else or another reason he is not wanting to? Here's Mom. I mean, what do you think? Yeah, I can answer this question. The reason why the child is afraid to go to work, because the two goons that come to pick him up, he's honestly scared to go anywhere, like I stated earlier. He doesn't want to go anywhere unless he is accompanied with an adult that can protect him. And one of the gentlemen that's in with the association that came to get him posted their physical address on a live chat, and he's honestly afraid to walk out of the house. Okay, let me look at chat once again. Yes, Trevor is. Absolutely. Hi, Lake Superior Girl. I don't know if I said hello to you. Men and women, I know. It is horrible. Yes. And I have said before, I don't think on a live, but many times talking with friends. Yeah, I think that's the root of the cause, is that we need to teach girls in school, to have more self-respect than that. You can be on your own. You don't, I've actually known someone that said that she'd rather be with any man than be alone. What kind of an attitude is that? You get what you feel you deserve, right? So we need to teach these girls that they deserve more than that they're worth more than that. I don't know how you do that, but yeah. I mean, I said there's no man so low, so bad, so disgusting on death row that women don't want them. But same doesn't go for women. So I guess men have more self-respect than women, even crappy ones. Yes, cat in the chat. There's a lot of people that think that. Yeah, that Don wouldn't. Hi, John Taylor. Don is that bad. We'll have to think up a new name. Oh, I don't like that shed. Yeah, I don't think that she will ever leave him, though, which is my opinion. They have such a codependent relationship, and seriously, who else would put up with either one of them? Honestly, even Candy got sick and tired of him and left. He does seem to kind of be at the end of his rope, doesn't he? I don't know how those two are still alive with all the drugs and drink and their lifestyle, especially Don. How many people, that are lifelong addicts live to be 60? Yes, I do too. My kids' dads both died young. I'm sorry, Dina Lynn. That must be hard being a single parent. I would think it would be. Hey, Short Note Carrie. I can hardly take care of myself. Yeah, Candace. Yeah, that doesn't. And the batteries on her pacemaker have been dead since the youngest boy was born. So she doesn't seem to be too concerned with getting them replaced. I think I would be, as overweight as she is, and her smoking and drinking. I mean, she chain smokes. "16 years on my own." No. Yeah, I've been in a couple of abusive relationships. No, I do not have kids. I have 3 cats. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it odd that he's only been caught once with that? That just seems like an outlier to me, doesn't it? It seems very, very odd to me. Candace is so worried. Yeah. Definitely. Oh, yes, Guzzly Mountain Dew. Yes. Mountain Dew has the highest caffeine content of any pop that I know of. Or as you Southerners call it, soda. Oldest 2 are 26 and youngest is 20. Oh, you have twins, beautiful sunflower? That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, let's get back to our reading here. Oh, yeah, Hunter. Hi, Candy Prim. Hi, Angel Girl. Yes, I've discussed that too with friends. Never vapes. Never seen her vape. Ever. And she constantly bums other creators for money for cigarettes, but never vapes. Yeah, those vapes must have all been for Hunter. And he got one before he got out of the truck, didn't he? And went and showed Allie, I thought, if I remember correctly. Oh, Candy. Hey, Bootsy. Candy, you love it here. We have a really good chat. All opinions welcome. All respectful opinions welcome. And I don't have to block or time out anyone. Oh, gee. So many people dying of drug overdoses. I have Narcan. Here you can get it free from that Start Up, I believe it's called. Next Up. And they get it free. You take a little training course online about how to use it. And just, watch out if you use it, because when they come to, sometimes they'll punch you out for ruining their high. And then when you use it, you just send they sent me 2. You just send it back and they'll replace them with full ones. I think everybody should have it. You never know. You just never know. I mean, it's a shame people, dying in their cars. I wouldn't want to die in my car. No, yeah, her IQ is not very high. I agree. And emotionally, too. I think she's 15. That's why she hangs around with Hunter and Cameron. She makes sophomoric jokes and thinks they're funny. Yeah, she's like a 15-year-old hanging out, drinking, getting high. I don't think she's ever gotten past that. Mountain Dew, I know, it's just horrible. I don't know. Do they think that will get better, beautiful sunflower? I know you've had a hard time. Hopefully that'll lessen as time goes on. I want to give women a safe platform. That's really nice, Miss Chewy. Yeah, everybody should be able to tell their story if they want to. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, the bikers that came to kidnap Hunter, yeah, I can see why he is scared to leave the house. That was horrible. Harry had to jump out a window, didn't he, to escape that? They didn't have any right to kidnap him like that. So he does not want to go by his dad. No, he wants to stay with me. Since on Saturday, when those two Goonies showed up from Georgia. When the cops were here, the lieutenant had asked Hunter, because Hunter was not in my house that day, and he wasn't. He was in once he knew this planned kidnapping. We have removed Hunter from the house, and we put him in a secure location. And I told the Kingsport Police Department that he was at a secure location, and if they want to know where he was, we'd tell him. And they said, no, we don't want him. We don't want to know where he is. I just want to talk to him because you never know who's out there listening and watching. So I called him on video chat. And the police lieutenant spoke with him, asked him if he was safe, asked him if he wanted to go to his dad's, and he said, no, I want to be home with my mom. Okay, let me look at chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've had migraines before. Those are not fun. I took Zomig for them. Zomig. Worked amazing. Used to be when I've had migraines since I was a teenager. Used to be the medicines you had to take before you got the migraine or they wouldn't work. Now it's amazing what the medicines these days can do. Oh, Candy, I'm sorry I missed it. I'm behind. I haven't heard that. Oh. Yes. Hi, Carol Morris. Oh, that's horrible. But heroin is easier to kick than the new stuff there that croc, I don't know. And xylazine. What is that called? That crocodile? I don't know. Is it true H said King can't put Summer in a well? I never heard that. I don't know. I have not heard that. When he was dropped off, Summer was in the car, so I don't know how he would even know that. Okay, crocodile, something like that. Yeah. From Russia. Okay, so this Jeremy Dugan guy and this Paul guy really need to get their heads out of their asses and state the truth. Now, that night when they came to extract him and they failed, Mr. Paul from Bikers of Association decided to put up a Facebook Live. Yes, he did. I saw that. This is not BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse. That's not who this was. They're a reputable organization, and from what I heard, they declined to get involved in this. Oh, yeah, that trank is xylazine. Hi, Tasty Day. That is xylazine, and there's no way to get off that because it's not an opioid. So Suboxone and what's the other thing? They don't work on xylazine. Yeah, I posted an interview about that. That is just horrible. Horrible. It just eats your skin right down to your bones. I don't know. I feel so sorry for those poor people. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so then they go on a little bit more about Hunter being kidnapped. You'll like it here, Tacy. Lisa, did these two men have connections to Ernie Shell? No, they were sent by Andrew Hills. I don't believe they did have connections with Ernie. I don't think Andrew knew Ernie then. It's somebody that he allegedly gave permission to or paperwork to. But it wasn't anything legal. It was basically kidnapping. Okay, so did Hunter typically go and spend summers with his dad? Well, what it is Hunter was born and raised mostly in New York State. We moved here to Tennessee about going on 10 years now. Andrew got a bug up his ass because they finally found New York State child support, finally found out where he was living, and he owes me back child support. There also was the state that got him on violation of non-payment of child support. And when he got those papers, he decided to throw me into court for violation of visitation. Okay, here we go. Which from when Hunter was about 4 or 5, he was in kindergarten. Andrew has not seen his kid, didn't even care to get him on the weekends like he was supposed to. So he violated me on visitation. Now this is interesting. I don't remember hearing this. Hi, Kim Holmes. Sorry if I missed anybody, but Eve is on it. Okay. So, yeah, this is interesting. So we had to go to New York. We came up with the agreement that he would take Hunter in the summertime when school got out, the first Sunday when school got out of the last week before school started last year. Hunter did not go to New York because, one, he didn't want to because of COVID. And this year he had a job and a girlfriend. And then there's another thing that we're not allowed to talk about. Okay, that's his carjacking with the baby in there. They're trying to kidnap Hunter. That was Andrew, his dad, had these two guys come and try to kidnap Hunter and take him back to New York. Hey, Charlie B, welcome. Okay. So, hi, Sylvia Brown. Hi, Bobby England. Okay, the other thing we're not allowed to talk about, that was the carjacking with the baby in the back. Was, I don't know, was a gang initiation or something. Allegedly, he didn't know there was a baby in the back, but I think he was on probation from that at the time, so he probably couldn't leave. His father was very well aware of this and didn't like it. But he goes, okay, well, maybe I could come down there and see him sometime. Okay, so you guys have that all squared away now. Then you got, he's going to come down and visit Hunter there because of the situation. Well, Jeremy Dugan and Andrew and that Paul guy think that they're going to come back here and get Hunter and bring them to New York. Ain't going to happen. I'm not overly familiar with their organizations or how that works, but as a mom, I would have a hard time handing my child to someone that I have no idea who you are. Is there a reason that his dad didn't come and pick him up? Because he ain't got the money. Because he got the money, he doesn't know I've got the fireworks. He don't work. He lives off his girlfriends. He's got at least 8 other kids out there, and he doesn't pay child support for any of them. I have Hunter. His mom is raising his next 2 kids. He's living with one of the baby mamas. which her oldest daughter that she had turned around and left her house and went to her father's house because of the way Andrew was with them. Andrew screams and yells at those kids 24/7. And in previous times, when Hunter was at his father's, my son said he had witnessed some traumatizing stuff there. So she doesn't want him to go back. Okay, so as of now, are you guys okay? Hunter's still there and you guys are good. And Andrew's going to come down and visit. No, me and Hunter are good. We don't know anything about Andrew because we are not on speaking terms. Andrew was trying to get Hunter basically kidnapped and run away, and I wasn't supposed to know about any of this. He had sent Hunter messages to Hunter saying when they're there, they're going to be just jump out the window. Who tells a 15-year-old kid to do that? But they're not trying to kidnap him, but they laid everything out, wanting to know what side of the house his bedroom was and ask him if he could take and get his clothes and whatever he was going to bring with him, put in a bag, and put it at the side of the house so when he jumps out, he can grab it and run. But they're saying that's not kidnapping. I didn't realize it was so organized. Okay, I'm behind again. Sorry. Yes. I heard that. But, like she just said, and then there's something about if he doesn't pick him up or do something, he forfeits that. I don't know. He has to pay his child support. Yeah. Hey, Bobby England. Are you asking me if I'm kin to Hunter, or are you asking Lisa Kleckner? Yeah, he's not a great example. That is for sure. Okay. So I'm not familiar with their organization to see like how they would have. I would not just let my kid go. So I'm having a hard time figuring out what organization would just come and try to take my kid from me and say, hey, they need to go see their dad. I don't know how that all works. Are they not hired? The organization is on a volunteer basis. They're donated. People make donations to the organization, and the organization is for exploited children, abused children, sex trafficking children. And none of that pertains to Hunter. Okay, so if Andrew wants to tell them that he didn't know about any of this stuff with Summer, which he didn't know about every bit of it, and the only time that Andrew comes up in this, stating that Hunter was in danger, was when the reward money surfaced. And he said, if I get him here, I'll get him to talk one way or the other in 48 hours. Okay, so there you go. No, I'm not related to Hunter. I do not know any of the people in this story whatsoever. None. Oh, I didn't know you were a mod on Andrew's channel. Am I saying anything that's not true? I'm not saying this. This is Allie, so take that with a grain of salt. Allie's not the most truthful person there is. Okay, so she's saying he's after the reward money. But Hunter's already cooperating with the police. I have full sole custody of Hunter, and he gets visitations. The visitations are supposed to be every summer and then every other Christmas. And last Christmas was supposed to be Hunter was Andrew's year, and Andrew never came to get his kid because he didn't have no money, because he wasn't working. He doesn't pay child support. Let's see. Someone in chat said Hun is Hunter. Okay, that's talking about Candy's alleged conversation with Emma from Crime Stories Obsessed when she said Hun. That's not Hunter. That was not Hunter. She's just saying Hun. Oh, yeah. We agree there. Definitely a liar. Sorry. But she is. Did you hear Hunter? No, I didn't. Hey, Andrew. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a little while. Are your ears burning? Like I just said, this is Allie talking, and we all know Allie's not exactly a reliable source. We're just going over Theresa's interview with Allie back at the beginning. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Candy. Somebody asked if you think that Grandma Candace would cover for Mom Candace if something did happen. Oh, well, welcome, Andrew. I'm glad that you dropped by. Yeah, I've seen you in here before. Just so happens we were talking about you. Allie's talking about you. The moo-moos. Okay, now keep it clean there, because, we don't trash other creators here. Okay, so would Grandma Candace cover for, let's see, because she's covered for her on all her CPS cases. She should be the sober party. What do you know about Grandma's hurt knee? Do you know what happened or how hurt it was or what the appointment was for? And Allie says no. Okay, I'm just trying to get through all you guys' questions. Now, do you know if Don, is he really a religious guy? No. A lot of Don's interviews, he goes to religion quite often. Did he speak very religious when you guys were all hanging out, or was religion something that was very important to him? What are your opinions on the religious talk now and then? Okay, I gotta come over here. Allie. Well, when she's making up stuff about Candace to make her look bad, but absolutely everyone in this case has lied. That's why it's so hard to figure out. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Andrew, this is, Theresa on a channel that I'm not allowed to mention, but it starts with a U. Yeah, and this was back at the beginning, so everybody know things, there's things on here that might have changed or we found out differently. So, because this was right at the beginning. Okay, I think it's all a bunch of BS. And why do you think Don would have to make up the religious stuff? If he thinks he was told the story that they were planting flowers, Summer went inside and now she's gone, why do you think he would be covering that up with religious talk? I don't know, just that whole religious thing has thrown me off. Like, I keep questioning it myself. Like, what is he doing? What are they doing? For the whole time I've known them, they've never been to church. Are you familiar with their friends from church? And there was a gentleman who took out the boys to go putt-putt golfing shortly after Summer went missing. Are you familiar with those friends from church? The first time ever hearing of that guy. Okay, that's interesting because there was speculation that he was actually at the house the night Summer went missing, that he was called over. Okay, that's David Dotson. And we're going to be going over David Dotson's interview on Thursday, if you want to stop in. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. Who allegedly had to do something gang related? That was Hunter. Kim. Is Andrew still here? Maybe he could fill us in with that. Andrew said that's why they kept Hunter's phone. I never thought it had anything to do with Summer's case because, I mean, they gave Don and Candace their phones back right away. So, I mean, if they were going to keep someone's phone, it would have been one of them, not Hunter. So I figured it was something else. Okay. We do know they've been to church because we've seen them on campus. But as Allie has said, I think their relationship kind of ended. Allie's relationship with Candace ended towards the end of October. So is church something that's been since then? Do we know they went to church prior to that, or is that a newer thing? And she doesn't know. We had talked about before we started, this was one of the speculations, is that your mom, being Sherry, has custody of your children. That makes me laugh. That's the funniest one I've heard yet. Now, mind you, my mother does have 3 kids. Those are my sister's kids that she's raising. Hi, Ghost of Crimes Past. Thursday night, yes, Thursday night at 9. That's kind of my time. Is Andrew gone? I wish Andrew would tell us why Allie lost her kids. Does anybody know? Selena, that is hilarious. I love it. I'm going to keep that one up there for a while. Lake Superior Girl, I think they did do that, but then Don, as part of his probation, had to go to church. So I think that's when they ended up at Robin's church, I believe. Okay. Then she says, do you want to stop for a drink? Murgatroyd! I know, that's hilarious. Where is Andrew? Andrew needs to come back. Okay. They're actually saying that Summer is Don's stepdaughter. I don't know where the hell somebody would say that. Because I've always known Donnie as Summer's father and the boys. Did you ever hear about Don's older children? The question for Andrew is, why did Allie lose custody of her children recently? Murgatory. Okay, I've heard of his older son Donnie from when he was in Utah that past summer because Josie and little Donnie were hanging out. Okay, but that's the other thing. I don't believe they ever came to their house here. Okay, I heard that Don's son Donnie came and stayed right after Summer was born for a week. But yeah, I think that's the only time he's been there. Oh, there's Andrew. He came back. For her not making them go to school and refusing to make True's 21-year-old boy move out of the house as True was still underage. Thank you, Andrew, for answering that. Not making them go to school. I hope that they're both getting help. Isn't True pregnant? I think I heard. That's kind of sad. Hunter said Allie got kicked out of her place and is still looking for a place of her own. Uh-oh, so Allie got kicked out of Section 8 housing? That's bad. Once you get kicked out of Section 8, you can't get back in. I know that because there's... Yeah, that's really kind of sad. I'm sorry. I think it's sad. That's my opinion. Okay, so... Do you know how Candace and Don treated Grandma Candace? How was she treated in the family? Well, for the most part, Candace loves her mom. Oh, she does have an apartment? Well, that's good. Hi, Lisa A. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good that she has an apartment. Okay. For the most part, Candace loves her mom, and then Candace used to get drunk and say hateful things to her. I guess they've had words in the past. Oh, this is Don. Has had hateful words in the past with Candy. Yes, they I'm tongue-tied. They absolutely have. I guess they came to a mutual thing to look like where they liked each other. Oh, Chapstick, hi. Thank you for that. You guys just add in information in the chat. I'll read it out. I never claim to know it all. I'm glad to hear some of these other things. She listed herself and 3 underage kids when she got Section 8, and given none of the kids live with her, she doesn't get it anymore. Allie lives with her grandmother. Okay, does Cassandra have her own house, or is it an apartment? Thank you, Andrew, for telling us all this information. This is good. Okay. Candy and Don definitely do not get together. And I know Candy only went over to the house during the day. And then when Don came home, she went back to her trailer. She was not in the house at the same time Don was. You've never met Don's older children or Candace's older children? No. Okay, let me see. What do you know about the vehicle that they're asking to come forward? It's a late 90s model, early 2000s model Toyota Tacoma, maroon or red. Do you know anything about that you could share? No. That was seen by a FedEx driver. I do know that. He said it was parked on the side of the road, I believe Beach Creek. He's not sure what day, the 14th or 15th. In my opinion, that has nothing to do with Summer going missing. I don't know why that person hasn't come forward, but, you know, maybe they were just driving through and their truck broke down. I don't know. Oh, hey, Baby Diamond. Andrew, shh. Okay. Andrew, Baby Diamond wants to know what Allyson went to jail for. The youngest lives with friends of Allyson's. Hunter doesn't live with Allie. And True lives with Allyson's mom. Okay, so True does not have her own apartment. She's living with Sherry. The youngest lives with friends of Allyson. Okay, that's Bear. Hunter doesn't live with Allie, and True lives with Allison's mom. Okay, I'm going to put that up here. Okay. Hey, Brenda Smith. Hello, Ava. Okay, so Andrew, did Allie go to jail or not? I'm not clear on that. Okay. You had mentioned earlier that Candace had switched up her stories a little bit. Do you have a particular example that you could share? She told me the night that Summer went missing that they were on the set. She said that her and her mom were on the side of the house planting flowers. Then they went to her mom's camper to wash their hands, and Summer wanted a piece of candy. Her mom gave her a piece of candy. It just all seems so scripted, doesn't it? Everybody repeats the exact same thing in the exact same order every single time. Okay, Allie didn't go to jail. Yeah, I thought Cassandra was still alive. Yes, Andrew's just a fount of information. I'm glad you stopped in here, Andrew. Okay. So then she walked out of the camper. She wanted to go inside and play with the boys. So Candace watched her walk out of the camp and go into the house. She turned around and went back into the camper to fix her mom's brace. Then she went back over to the house to check on her kids. She asked the boys where Summer was. They said, I don't know, maybe she's downstairs playing with her toys. Now, this is what I absolutely think happened. The boys said they didn't know. Maybe she's downstairs. Okay, somebody make a note of that because I think that's what happened. I think that's the truth right there. The boys had no idea. They never saw Summer. Candace just had them gaslighted into thinking Summer was in the house. She went downstairs and was calling for Summer. There was no answer. I asked her if the door was locked and shut. She said yes. And then now she's going around telling everyone different versions of the story. Yeah, I believe she said it was unbelievable. There's those fireworks again. Okay, I think she's calling red flags fireworks. Don is actually the one that said the door was unlocked. He does not say that it was open or ajar. He said that it was unlocked. But that you can't see through the glass on that door. So nobody would know if Summer was in there or not. Why would you think she'd be in the basement? I believe that exactly. No, Kim, I didn't say it was changed. Allie. This is Allie. This is Allie's interview with Theresa that we're reading through. I didn't say that. That's Allie saying it changed. Okay, so I'm wondering if there's a possibility the door was locked and then it was unlocked by the time Don got there. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Otherwise, they would both have something different to say. Like they have changed their story so many different times, even on social media. Yeah, really, they have. You mean they've changed their lies? And everything is crazy. Yes, there's a lot of stories going around, and that's one of the things we talked about was like the lice. Because that was one of the things about the shaved head. People go, why is that important? It's only important because it becomes such an important thing on social media that we wanted to try to clear it up. People are saying, like, try, not to ask you too much about what's going on with Hunter and other stuff. But for some reason on social media, that becomes a huge thing. And people want to say that, you're on meth and Hunter lives with your mom. So those are things that we want to clear up. Okay, let me go back to chat here. Yeah, I'm not even sure you can believe a half, Andrew. I think maybe you're a little off on that. Hey, Wonder Woman. I don't know. Yes, very little facts. Absolutely. Maybe it was. Oh, true. Yeah. Well, that's why Candy and Candace fell out, because Candy gave that interview and screwed it up. Candace was livid. She was absolutely livid. Well, I think that's true too. And he said Summer was sleeping against the door and he was in the middle with the milk on him. So, I mean, Summer would have had to have woken up, right? Because she was leaning against the door. Yeah, I don't believe anything Allie says either. Especially if it's about Rose. Hey, Pink Butterfly. Cloudy skies. The lice thing was the picture of Allie and Hunter with the dog on the table that people were saying was dead. And there was the spoon and the lighter there on a plate. That's what she's talking about there. People were saying that Allie was on meth. I think so too, beautiful sunflower. I think so too. Well, Leslie said she saw Hunter or saw Summer and that she was still alive. I don't know if you can believe Leslie. Yeah, I believe she was still alive. Actually, my theory is that after Candace dropped Hunter off, she went back to Warriors. Yeah. Candace's timeline is sketchy. They said Don's was okay and Candace's needed some work. Like a lot of work. On the other hand, Candace did tell someone she remembers every single second of the day that Summer went missing. So if that's true, why doesn't she tell us? Hey, Pink Butterfly. Wow. I'm impressed. My dad was a mechanic, so he always did all my repair work for free. Rebuilt my engines, put in new brakes. Plus, he owned an auto parts store, so I got parts for pennies. Now that he's 90, I'm getting my work done somewhere else. I don't feel it's fair for him to do it now. BB Diamond, I think she went back to Warriors for some nefarious reason, a drug deal, to meet someone for something, and I think Summer ran back to the water, wasn't being watched, and drowned, and then Candace found her. Because Candace has such a reaction at the swimming hole. That's the only times I've ever seen her have any emotion, was the 2 times she was at the swimming hole. So that made me think something obviously happened there. Plus, there's such a huge block of time there. I think she went back there to meet somebody to do drugs or who knows what, and wasn't watching Summer. Because Candace said nothing would have happened to her if I was around. Well, so she wasn't around, right? I don't know. That's just my theory. I just put that together. Some other people saw her in town. Oh, hey, Chapstick. I have a community post where I posted Leslie, where I posted Leslie's text. If you look back, you'll see it. She said that she saw Summer. I can't remember if she took pictures of her. She said she asked the cops if they needed her phone, and they told her no, they had everything they needed from the camera that was on the pole across the street. I'm not verifying that information. I don't know, but that's what Leslie said. So I posted those. Yes, that's another reason. One of the ladies said that the truck was there all day. We know for a fact that that truck was not there all day. But if it was there at noon and then Candace went back after she dropped Hunter off and she saw it again, she might think it was there all day. I don't know. That just explains so many loose ends and so many things that people are wondering about, that I just wonder if maybe that's what happened. Yeah. Yes, I think so. Yes, they do a video of her leaving the property twice. The thing with the polygraph is the questions. So it's not so much the polygraph as it's the pre and post polygraph interview that's the important part. So they try to get information out of you, and then it depends on what questions they ask. So this was, right after Summer disappeared. So what questions did they ask? Did they know to ask the right questions? That's why people go in for more than one polygraph, because then more information comes out and they have more questions. It even depends on how they word the questions. So I can see where they could pass the polygraph, because at this point, law enforcement probably didn't know enough to ask the right questions. That's just my thoughts. Hi, Tigress. Yes, I think so too, but we know it didn't happen the first time they were there, because they went to Walgreens and then Sonic, and the manager at Sonic remembers her, and he said that they did take the video from their camera. So, right. Yep, I was going to read that off to I saw a lot of people in Chris McDonough's chat last night, like, oh, did they check the flower pots? Did they search the basement? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought maybe I would read through that whole TBI thing. Yeah, I don't believe the pillow thing either. I mean, Hunter was wet, right? I don't think the milk jug video was that day. It was earlier. Can you say hi to my brother Luke? Hi, Luke. Is he here? Question and answer page. Yeah, I'm going to go over that too. We're going to go over that. Yeah, he did say that. Hi, Melissa Brown. He did say that. He said after the water hole thing. So, yeah, what water hole thing? Exactly. Don't you think you guys think about it, and we can talk about it next time? But I just thought it made a lot of sense. The white truck is what they said was there all day. Well, the white truck wasn't there all day. The white truck was at the wells. I don't think she could have picked him up later because he was at the ball game with his girlfriend and her mother. So his time was accounted for there. You know, you'd think so, wouldn't you? I'm sure that's the part they're not releasing. They don't want us meddling. They don't want 500 people calling in telling what they think happened. Yeah. Well, I don't think Candy knows. She knows things were not what they're saying they are, but I don't think she knows what happened to Summer. And I don't think Dawn does either. I don't know. If the Wells come to YouTube for help, then what are they wanting YouTube to do to help? Yeah, I don't know. I think the same thing about Rose's case. If they'd release a little more information, you know, if they'd say, hey, she was at a party at this house that night, you know, can anybody come forward or have any information about that party? Or I think if they just release some more information, they might get people calling in. I mean, at this point, what difference does it make? They're nowhere. So why not do some things that could possibly work? Yeah, I don't think Hunter had anything to do with. Okay. Yep, I'm right there with you, Kim. Right there with you. Yep, he is definitely not. Although he tried to make it seem like he was. Remember, he said that the TBI, he added some things to a share file that TBI shared with him. Remember when he said that? It was after that that TBI came out and said they were not working with him. They said that twice. The park had, yes, absolutely, Kathy. That was the first day of horse camp. And I can't understand how, if this person was working at horse camp, that they could keep their eye on a parking lot. I absolutely think you're correct there. Oh no, I never heard that. I'll have to think about that. Okay, squirrely girl, bye. Glad you stopped in. Yeah, Kathy Marsh, hello. Welcome. Is Kim Holmes a Wells supporter? That's fine. Everybody has an opinion. Yeah, I'm not sure what Tim's motivation is. I still haven't figured that out. Or Robin's. I don't understand what they're doing. or what they think they're doing or what they're trying to accomplish. Okay, so I'm going to get back to this because we got a ways to go here. Okay, she's complimenting Allie. The chatter today at Candace's interview that stated that Hunter asked to go with her because he didn't want to stay here with his grandmother. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys are aware of it yet, but it was Candace's interview with WJHL. She said Hunter asked her if he could go with her because he didn't want to be around her grandmother because she's such a bitch. A lot of people thought that, oh, Allie was Sherry. Yeah, I see people still getting confused about that. Jeremy thought Leslie was me. Okay, a lot of people want to hear Leslie's take on the whole thing, too. So I don't know if we can put Leslie on. Leslie, do you want to give us your 2 cents? Hold on, she's on the phone. All right, let's see what other questions people are having for you. People keep bringing up Jose in chat. There was a lot of speculation at the beginning when Summer went missing that there was a gentleman who was living on their property who was a registered sex offender. And when internet sleuths started looking, they found Chris M., as we refer to him, as being registered to live at that property. But according to Candace, he has not lived there since Summer was a 5-month-old baby. Yeah, Chris M. wasn't living there, so. And according to other people on social media, Chris has been back in Wisconsin for quite a while. He was actually on camera at work that whole week, and that was confirmed. Yes, there's nothing. Yeah. No, I know he was not an artist, so they're talking about the what's the guy's name that allegedly lived in the shed when his wife kicked him out. Okay, so there's a lot of conflict on who was living at the property that was a registered sex offender. And now that we brought up Jose, do you know when Jose was actually taken to North Carolina? Right after that police report was made, where Candace said she was in fear of her life. Donnie had got arrested, and her mom took Jose to North Carolina. Okay, that would have been way before Summer went missing. Okay, a lot of people are like, Leslie's got stuff that we want to hear. Okay, so they're going to bring Leslie on. Right, the homeless guy. No, Granda's, no, she doesn't have a boyfriend. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of homeless people mulling around there, doesn't it? Who's the guy that lived at the end of Fred Hill's driveway in a tent or something? My mind is blank right now. He's the one that saw Candace walk up Fred's driveway when he wasn't home. Okay, let's go down to where they bring Leslie in. Okay, people assuming a relationship between Hunter and Candace. That's just sick in so many ways, and honestly, knowing Hunter as long as I have, he would never do anything like that. And then wanting to say that Allyson is on drugs, and she's on meth, and she's on this, and honestly, when they came to get Hunter, the 2 gentlemen from Georgia, they thought I was Allyson and thought Allyson was Sherry. Okay, so this is Leslie. This is Leslie. She's using Allyson's phone. Okay, I'm a little confused. After Jeremy Duggan spoke to Hunter 30 minutes later, called the Kingsport Police Department wanting them to come here and do a welfare check. After he had spoken to him himself and said that Hunter was here. No, he wasn't, and he just want to assume they don't know the true story, when all he had to do was ask. It just really irritates me that they want to drag a family through the mud. There's a lot of mud dragging going on in this case. Allie, are you sharing who you are, and even down to Allison's oldest daughter? They're wanting to drag her through the mud, thinking that they are the one that kidnapped her. I've heard that too. There's a lot of speculation going around about Allison's oldest child. Okay, this is Leslie talking now. Right. No. Jose stayed Jose stayed to get his final paycheck, so he didn't leave right away. Don was in jail, so okay, they're talking about Hunter and inappropriate relationships. Was True running away? That she just recently ran away? No, that was when she was 12 years old. She got mixed up with the wrong crew of kids and found herself with a boyfriend that was about 3 years older than her. And she kept running away with him because he kept putting it in her head, just run away, come stay with me for a little while. She was a rebellious teen, and she ended up getting sent off to a couple of group homes, which she ran away from. She wasn't even in my care at the time. She ran from one out here that was outside of Kingsport. They knew she was a runner. She didn't want to listen. She didn't like the rules, and she didn't like that she couldn't see me all the time. She ran not once, not twice, but 3 times from that group home, so they relocated her down in Knoxville. She ran from Knoxville twice. Then they did a mental evaluation on her, and she ended up in a psychiatric hospital. Okay, so people are saying it was the youngest girl that was in the psychiatric hospital now. So I guess that's not true. But since then, this girl's been straightened up. She goes to school. She does what she's told. She's 16 years old now, does not like boys. So if anyone wants to say that she's running off from boys now, my daughter likes girls now. Well, she didn't get pregnant from a girl, but I know that she was in a relationship with a girl at one time. I believe somebody said COVID, but that wasn't true. I think she died of a heart attack, didn't she? I believe. Okay, now she's talking about people saying True lured Summer out of the basement, which is ridiculous. And I really don't like talking about minors, which she was at the time, or the boys. Hi, Alessia. Okay, I was just recently told by my daughter, True, that the last time her and her friend went up there to Candace gave him something to drink. True didn't know what it was. She didn't know there was alcohol in it, and I guess Donnie did not want no one spending that night, and he kicked them out into the freaking back of the truck to sleep for the night because she couldn't drive home because she doesn't have her license, and her cell phone, there's no cell phone service. That's interesting. So he had her sleep in the back of one of the trucks, not in the house. I did hear that before. The school bus on the property is Candy's school bus. She brought it home from Wisconsin last summer, and she's going to turn it into an RV. That school bus is just filled with junk. Allegedly, that's the school bus that Candy drove. And Candace, I heard her say that she rode in that very bus when she was a kid. Take that for what it's worth. Yeah, I believe that too, Andrew. I do. Of course she did. Okay. Now, this is something that you can answer. When they were at the swimming hole that day, there was alcohol, and then we know that there was nicotine vapes. Is that what's in a vape? Is it, it's like a cigarette? I'm sorry that I don't know that. I thought it was pot, isn't it? It's a cigarette? Okay. Yes, the bus is still on the hill. Candy doesn't have a place to put it at the current time where she is. Okay, have you heard anything from either the family or Hunter that would make you believe that Summer could have got a hold of any of those items while they were at the swimming hole or in the car? No. Have you ever seen any of the Wells children get into anything like alcohol or anything that they should not have been into? Yes, they had an issue with their oldest son, Jay, who went to Utah with his father. When he went to Utah, the reason for bringing him out to Utah was because he would get into their weed and he would drink their alcohol. That is also what I heard. Okay, so do you know, like, did he ever have any repercussions? Was there punishment? Was he okay after getting into it? Was it like a sip? Or he just did it accidentally on purpose? There was a lot of questions. He was doing it on purpose to fit in with his mom and dad. He was seeking attention. He wanted that love. Okay, was your son supposed to spend the night with them that night? Or was it always just that we'll be gone a couple of hours, then we'll be back? No, it was just a couple of hours. Can be. Okay, thank you, everybody who's answering me. Both weed or nicotine. Okay, thanks. I don't know anything about it. I haven't experienced that part of life. Have you ever heard a rumor about Don trying to sell his oldest children when they were younger? We're going to get into that later. When we get to Mary's interview, I'm going to tell you the deal about that. I've never heard that just from what I've been reading on Facebook recently. Yeah, nothing has ever come about that conversation. All I knew was that he had 2 children in Utah from a previous marriage, and then Candace had her 2 previous children that were in foster care from a previous relationship, and that her and Donnie got together and they had 4 of their kids. Okay, H was dropped off between 2 and 2:30. Now, that's not true because we know they were at Sonic at 2 and then went to Priceless. So I believe it would have been closer to 3, 2:45, 3, depending on how long they were in Priceless, which we don't know. It's another mystery. Who was living on the property at the time Summer went missing? Okay, Andrew, thank you so much for stopping by and answering our questions. I really appreciate it. People had a lot of questions about this, and I'm glad that we had your input. Thank you. Have a good night. Do you know who was living on the property at the time Summer went missing? Do you know all the occupants of the house at that time? As far as I know, thank you, Andrew. As far as I know, it was just Donnie and Candace and 3 boys in summer inside the house. And then Grandma was in her trailer. Nobody else living on the property at that time that I know of. Nobody else spending the weekend or the week there. Okay, did Summer and her parents all sleep in the basement? Yes. And then the boys were upstairs. Okay, that is... Allie stated she had to call the law. I don't know. I think I did hear Allie say that. CPS, when they came, said that the older boys had to sleep separate from Summer. And that's due to the age. And that's a normal CPS thing. They have regulations about, the size of the room and the beds and all kinds of stuff like that. Did Candace bring a lot of men over to the house when Don wasn't around? Well, there's this one incident last summer before Don went to Utah. We were at the Shell station in Dunkin' Donuts. We're getting stuff for the kids for the day because we're going to go to Warriors and we're going to let the kids go swimming and play in the playground, have a picnic. And Candace started talking to some strange dude who was a tool. And we thought she was going to leave him there. And she turns around, picks the guy, invites him to go to Warriors with us. I'm like, oh my God, this woman's nuts. And then she brings them up to our house. And then when her husband came home from work, he's like, oh, who's this? She goes, oh, this is Sherry's boyfriend. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, why not tell your husband, oh, I just picked this dude up on the side of the road? This is hilarious. Was that common? No, that was the first time she'd done that in front of me. Oh my goodness. Were you familiar with any recreational drug use at the Wells home besides marijuana and alcohol? Wait, I don't see where she... Okay. Candace did come right out and tell me that she used to be a meth addict. That's when she had the other 2 children. Actually, when she had the 3rd child in Arkansas, that baby was born addicted to meth too. But Candy got her off of meth after that. I know, right, Alyssa? Picked him up on the side of the road. Let's see. Since you know the property, do you think she could have been snatched out of her yard? I don't believe so. It'd be very hard. I mean, especially they were planting flowers in the back. Or was it on the side? It was right where her mom's trailer is. Yeah, this is all questionable too. There weren't any flowers. Okay, now they're just talking about where everything is. Her mom's camper is on the side. You come down the driveway a little bit. There's 2 sheds. There's a blue shed and a tan shed. The blue one is the one I think I'm talking about. And then you go down the driveway, you take a left and go out on Ben Hill, follow that all the way to the end to the stop sign. Okay, and there's another house. So that's the house that had the camera, the one on the corner. So I know they know who came and went and when because they have the film from that camera. So they're not letting us know, but they do know that. Okay, I think that's all. Let me see. They're talking about Candace being higher than a kite. Who the hell knows what day that was? I think that's been every day for the last 2.5 years. Okay. Okay, here's when Summer went missing. She wasn't showing any emotion. She's talking about Candace. She called to tell you about something. She wasn't even showing any emotions. When I got to talk to her, when someone was missing, she went missing. Like when I was talking to Candace on the phone, she wasn't even sitting on video. She was pacing back and forth in her kitchen, fiddling with her hat on her head and yawning and yawning. She wasn't crying or nothing. If that was my kid, I'd be crying my eyes out. So you talked to Candace on June 15th that night. Yes, I was at the ball field. She called at 7:29. Here we can fill in part of the timeline. Oh, yes, absolutely. Hi, Sammy. I don't think I said hi to you before. She called my son, Hunter, about 15 after 7. And Hunter called my phone at the ball field at 7:29. And then when we got back, we were sitting here talking, and then Candace called on Snapchat on video. Does she normally call on video? No. And I started asking her questions. I'm like, what were you guys doing? How did she become missing? Like, what were you doing and stuff? And that's when she started giving me the story about them planting flowers and going in the camper, getting washed their hands, getting candy, and she walked to the trailer to the house. And then it was all crazy. She never showed an ounce of emotion. And then you ask where her mom was at, and she said she's outside talking to the police because I'm not talking to them now. Okay, so she didn't talk to the police then. Do you know if the neighbors did see anything or talking to police? No, I haven't heard. Do you know anyone that rides a Harley with saddlebags? I don't know what that has to do with anything. Now, was Don the only one to call 911 that night, or did Candace call? Well, I believe it was just Donnie. I do too. What's this chemistry? She had stated that she called as well too. From what I heard was that at first that one of the siblings called. Now that's what I think. Yes. Mom went for a walk. Summer was 4. I think that's why they haven't released that phone call. That's just my opinion. And then I heard Donnie call. Why didn't the mother call? Even if there's no cell phone service, you still get 911 service. That's true. Yeah, I don't know, that whole thing is messed up too. I think maybe Candace didn't call 911, and that's why she's saying she didn't use her phone. If she knew her daughter was missing and she couldn't find her, why didn't she pick up that phone and call herself? Why did she pick up and call her husband? They're asking you to believe that Hunter is fearful of Candace at this time. And since he's not having any contact with her anymore, I don't think he's fearful of her. I think he's fearful of the situation that he's in and these 2 goons that tried to pick him up and that have exploited his information online. Okay, now here's a tidbit. Allie wanted Theresa to interview Hunter, and she refused because he was a minor. But apparently Chris McDonough didn't care that he was a minor. Is there any kind of fencing around their house or anything, or is it just all open? It's all open. Did Candace ever show any kind of emotion prior to Summer going missing? Not really. In all her pictures and video, it just never seems like she was. She always looks depressed. She never smiled in any pictures or video. She didn't look happy. She said that Candace was jealous of Summer because of the attention that Dottie gave Summer. So their house had been searched. Do you know the day that Candace called Hunter at 7 o'clock? Do you know what they talked about? Just about the polygraph that she failed. That was the first one. All I've heard was that she called them and she said she was in the back of the cop car on the way to the police station to take her second polygraph because she failed the first one. I think that's because she was too nervous, right? And they made her come back, or that's what she said anyway. Is Don and Candace legally married? Okay, we know that they are legally married. Okay, did Candace ever talk about her sister? I think we're just about done here. At all. Sister Rose, not only when she was drunk and if someone brought her up, unless she would stay away from that subject, was what did she say about her sister? Was it negative stuff or positive? Oh, yeah, she would say there was one time when her mom was crying, and it was on the anniversary that Rose went missing, and Candace was drunk. Her mom was crying, and I asked her, Mom, what was wrong? Because I know what it was like to have a runaway child. So I was comforting her mother, and I said, it's okay. Someday we'll find answers. That might not happen today. It might not happen tomorrow, but you have to keep hope. There's always hope. And Candace would be like, what are you crying for? The bitch is dead. Now, that is what Candace said. She did not say she killed her. She said this to her mother. Why are you crying? The bitch is dead. And that's why on the interview with Don and Candace for WJHL, that when they asked Candace about Rose, Don said, carefully, your mother's listening, because he didn't want Candace to say something nasty about Rose and get Candy upset, which is perfectly understandable, I think. Okay, then they're talking about the milk jug video, which I don't believe was the 15th. Do you know if Summer was supposed to inherit that land? No. All I know is that Donnie inherited that property from his mom. Okay, the rest is just odds and ends. Okay, and that's it. So does anybody have anything they want to... Yes. Anybody have anything they want to say before we wrap it up? Oh, yeah. But you know, Candace, she likes all the attention. And Candy's always given her all the attention for some reason. Candace has always been her favorite. So apparently Candace doesn't like her crying over anybody else. Info is told not to go to social media. You know, but oddly enough, Hunter, they didn't tell him that he couldn't talk. So that leads me to believe he doesn't know anything pertinent. Because Hunter said he wasn't told that he couldn't talk about anything. He was just told that he couldn't talk without Ally's permission. Yeah, that is a problem. You're saying that's a problem where Summer's concerned, correct? And I agree with you, yes. Okay, so we've hit the 2-hour mark. And I think we covered just about everything. If nobody has any more questions or anything to say, oh, Candace definitely has always been her favorite, Kim. Always been her favorite. Candy's favorite? Yes. Oh, yeah. She actually gave one of the other girls to her mother to raise. And Rose spent a lot of time with her mother also. But Candy always kept Candace right with her. She's always been Candy's favorite. Oh, you're welcome, Chapstick. Yeah, it's always fun talking with my peeps. I have the most awesome chat ever. Yeah, well, we're going to wrap it up. Didn't the father take 3? I don't know what you mean. Didn't the father take 3? Candace, after Candy left, Jim couldn't handle Candace, so she went to a foster home. That was after she pulled a knife on him. Oh, you're very welcome, Wonder Woman. I hope you had a great time. Yeah, it did turn Candace into a spoiled brat. Yep. Oh, Miss Seeker of Daylight. Thank you. You didn't say anything, so I guess you were lurking. Okay. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Love you all. Thank you to my mods. And we'll see you Thursday when we're talking about David Dodson. So we'll talk to you then. Bye.